Hello and welcome to the GPCA Podcast. Today we are at the 17th Annual GPCA Forum. My name is Dima Khairani and I'm the Head of Marcom and Membership at GPCA. I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Tom Crotty, Group Director of Ineos. Hello, Mr. Tom, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I would like to thank you for joining us and for having the time to conduct this interview. I'll start, if you allow me, with these questions right away.
Of course, my pleasure.
So yesterday you participated in the executive panel on industry consolidation in chemicals. What has Ineos' experience been in driving organic and inorganic growth, and how have you been navigating the challenges and pitfalls of these?
Okay, so I think the reason that Mr. Asadun asked me to do it was because Ineos has grown through mergers and acquisitions. We're a very acquisitive company. We're 25 years old. We've grown from one business with a turnover of 200 million in 1998 to now 190 sites, 65 billion. Most of that has been through acquisition, through M&A. And so our experience has been very positive about M&A and consolidation. Our driver, I think I said in the panel, has never really been because we think we need to make consolidation happen. Our driver has always been the opportunistic way to grow our business because we think there are businesses that potentially other people don't value that we think we could make valuable. And that's what we've been successful doing over 25 years.
Amazing. This is really interesting. And can you tell us more about your joint venture projects to produce ABS with the SINOPEC in China? China is an important market, but it has its challenges and opportunities. So I would like to hear from you. How is this project going?
Yeah, I mean, China is fascinating because, one of the issues for Ineos, because we've grown through acquisition, our geographic spread has been determined by the companies we've bought, not by a decision on our part. So we now find ourselves with a very large global chemical company, but with, we think, some gaps geographically. One of the gaps is here in the Gulf. So we're working on some big projects at the moment in Saudi to try and fill that gap. But China is the other big gap in our portfolio. We have some presence in Asia Pacific, in Korea, in Thailand, but not in China. So we've done some very, very big deals with SINOPEC to do some large joint ventures. One of them is in ABS. We're also doing joint ventures in polyethylene as well. And the aim there is really to give us a position in what is essentially the largest market in the world. And that's not just because there are a lot of people in China who buy things, but because China has become increasingly the feeder of products to the rest of the world. So if you buy your iPhone or your any piece of equipment, there is a large amount of Chinese material in that. So if you want to be part of that manufacturing globally supply chain, you need to be in China. So that's been the key driver for us.
Amazing. All the best and all what you're planning to do.
Thank you.
It's very exciting to hear that you're also planning to expand in Saudi.
Yep.
So this is great for the region. Again, I want to ask you about, you've recently had a milestone with a key milestone with Ineos, which is Ineos Innovel, which became Europe's first green hydrogen ISCC Plus fully certified producer.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and what are the opportunities for chemical producers in green hydrogen, in your view? A topic that has a massive interest in our chemical industry, especially also here in the GCC.
Yeah. So, we are investing a lot in the energy transition. We're firm believers in reducing emissions. I have a big problem with the use of the word decarbonization because, we're in the organic chemistry business and carbon is our business. So we aren't about decarbonization. We're about removal of emissions of carbon into the atmosphere. So everything we can do, we're looking to do. So we've also had the world's first cross-border carbon capture project in Denmark and Belgium. We launched that last year as well. But hydrogen, we think, is the key to a lot of that transition. So it's a way to produce a completely clean fuel either through blue hydrogen, so combining it with carbon capture from methane, or through green hydrogen through the electrolysis of water. We have a lot of strength in that technology because we are Europe's biggest producer of chlorine. So we already produce a lot of hydrogen as a byproduct from our chlorine manufacture, which takes basically salty water, brine, and separates the chlorine from the sodium, and in so doing also separates the hydrogen from the oxygen. If you take the salt out of the water, you're purifying pure water into hydrogen and oxygen, which is green hydrogen. So we already have the technology which we have been able to simply adapt to produce hydrogen on an on-purpose basis. So that's what we've done, and we think it's absolutely essential to the future.
This is amazing to hear. I really love your comment about decarbonization word. It's been discussed as a communication leader as part of GPCA. We're always debating about this word because it can be misunderstood.
Yeah.
Like we're very much aligned with your message. Thank you so much for highlighting this. A question as an expert and leader here. We would like to hear about a forecast for the economy. Are you pessimistic? Are you optimistic? How do you see 2024? Looking at everything around us at the moment.
If I could answer the question accurately, I could stop work tomorrow because I'd make a lot of money. No, seriously, I'm optimistic about the long-term future and I'm pessimistic about the short-term. So we are in, I personally think, the toughest recession I've experienced in nearly 45 years in the industry. It's tougher than 2008-9 because 2008-9 was very much a V-shaped curve. So we plummeted very quickly at the end of 2008 into a trough, but we recovered also very quickly. This time we've slid down into a trough, which has continued. And there's some good reasons for it. It's a combination of COVID, which slowed demand growth down, the crisis in Ukraine, which has pushed energy prices up around the world. And those two things have combined. And China has been very slow to recover because their COVID issues have only just stopped. We seem to forget COVID that was a long time ago. In China, it wasn't. It was more recent. So all of those things, someone described the curve, instead of being a V, described it the other week to me as a bathtub curve, which is a nice description because we're in that trough and it's just going on and on and on. And we're hoping to climb out of the other side of the bath. And we hope nobody turns the taps on and flushes us back. But that's the real issue we've got. So short term, I think 2004 is going to be a very tough year for the whole industry. Longer term, with the opportunities presented by the energy transition, I'm very optimistic.
Okay, well, we're going to say optimistic, but this is really great insights. I just want, talking about this, like, we know that chemistry is all about innovation.
Yeah.
So what do you think the role here for the chemical players?
I think our industry...
In the climate.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's where I think that's where our opportunities lie. I mean, I think we are going to be the provider of the solutions here. One of the things I'm always really encouraged about is when I talk to young people who've joined our industry, joined us in Ineos, but also, that you've got the youth activities here at GPCA, which is brilliant. What we find is, unlike when I joined the industry back in the Stone Age, now the attitudes of young people are they want to improve the world they live in. They join us because they believe that's the way to do it. And I'm always enlightened, find that very enlightening that people take that attitude that, gluing yourself to a motorway in protest achieves nothing. Working our industry to find the solution achieves everything. And that's what I'm really encouraged by.
This is a fascinating message. I really want to end with that, but I still want to ask you about the forum. This is not your first time. You're our close partner, big supporter, and we thank you for this. So how are you finding the forum first time in Qatar?
It's a fantastic forum. I mean, I think I've been involved in GPCA off and on almost since it started. I was trying to think the other night whether I was actually at the first one. I'm not sure I was at the first one, but very early on, since Mr. Al Sadoun ran GPCA, I've been involved. And the thing that amazes me when you come here to the 17th forum is the sheer scale. It's a vast scale. And it says a lot about how the global industry perceives the region. That this has become, for me, probably the most important chemical forum globally now, because, first of all, a lot of companies around the world want to be involved in the Gulf, but also companies in the Gulf are now major players in the global chemical scene. And I think, coming to GPCA has become, I think, an essential part of the calendar for most of us now.
Oh, this is great to hear from you, especially coming from you. Thank you so much, Mr. Tom, and for the time and for making it for us. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening to this podcast. Look forward to keeping this discussion forward. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.